What if I told you there are places in the United Kingdom where you can get land for almost nothing and in some cases get paid to move there? Not passive income influencer paid, not crypto arbitrage paid. I'm talking real government-backed incentives, renovation grants, tax breaks, direct job pipelines, and median home prices so low they'd make a Londoner physically ill. Now, before you roll your eyes, yes, it sounds like a scam, and here is the thing, it kind of is, just not in the way you think. Today, we're breaking down the real numbers, the hidden catches, and the uncomfortable truth behind every single one of these offers, because some of these towns are genuinely extraordinary deals, and some of them will quietly destroy your quality of life if you move there without doing your homework. Stick around, because one of these places is such a ridiculous financial opportunity, you'll immediately start Googling what winter feels like there. Spoiler, it's cold. Very, very cold. Item 1. Campbelltown, Scotland. Picture yourself in Campbelltown. You wake up to the sound of wind hammering a Scottish coastline. No traffic, no commute, no 40-minute queue for an overpriced flat white. Your mortgage payment, less than what most people pay to share a flat in Manchester. Here is the thing, this isn't luck, this is desperation economics working in your favour. Campbelltown sits over 5 hours from Glasgow. Young people left decades ago. The job market contracted. The government, quietly, without a press release, began subsidising anyone willing to reverse that demographic collapse. We're talking homes under £100,000, rural relocation grants, and direct business funding for anyone willing to set up shop. But here is what nobody tells you. The nearest major hospital is a serious drive away. Healthcare access in remote Scottish zones is not a minor inconvenience. It's a legitimate life consideration, especially if you have children or aging parents. The weather is not brisk, it is coastal Scottish weather, which is its own specific kind of punishment. Translation: you are getting extraordinary cost of living arbitrage in exchange for geographic isolation so complete it will either heal you or break you. There is no middle ground in Campbelltown. Real talk, if you are remote working, debt-averse, and genuinely unbothered by distance, this might be the closest thing to a financial oasis that exists in the United Kingdom right now. Item 2. Cumnock, Scotland. Cumnock is what happens when an entire industry dies and the property market never gets the memo that it's supposed to recover. The coal industry collapsed, the jobs vanished, and the median home price in Cumnock dropped to levels that make no logical sense in 2026. We're talking properties under £80,000, with renovation grants of up to £25,000 available through the local council for buyers willing to restore derelict housing stock. Picture yourself in Cumnock. You've just purchased a fixer-upper for the price of a deposit on a London apartment. The streets are quiet. Neighbours actually know each other. There is a cognitive dissonance to it. The financial numbers look almost fraudulent, but the paperwork is completely legitimate. But here is what nobody tells you. The job market is genuinely weak. This is not a place you move to and then figure out employment. The nightlife is minimal. The growth trajectory is slow. By 8 p.m., the town operates like it's already decided the day is over. Translation: Cumnock is financially stable and socially quiet, and those two things are not always compatible with ambition. If you're bringing your income with you, it's a cheat code. If you're expecting the town to provide it, you will be disappointed. Item 3. Port Talbot, Wales. Port Talbot is a different kind of deal entirely. This is not about cheap land or government grants. This is about a town that has a job pipeline, a real functioning industrial employment corridor attached to it like a lifeline. Here is the thing, the steel industry in Port Talbot has been the economic engine of this region for generations. Affordable housing exists, because the town was built around workers, not around lifestyle branding. That means you can find a home for a fraction of what you'd pay in Cardiff, with direct access to stable, well-paying industrial employment. But here is what nobody tells you. The air quality in Port Talbot has been a documented public concern for years. The economy is tied, heavily, uncomfortably, to one major sector. When that sector coughs, the whole town gets sick. That is not a metaphor. That is a structural economic vulnerability. Translation: you will find work, you will find affordable housing, but your environment comes packaged with those benefits, and you do not get to opt out of the industrial skyline. Real talk. If you're pragmatic, if you value stability over scenery, and if you're willing to work within a system rather than above it, Port Talbot is a legitimate option. Just go in with your eyes open. Item 4. Barrow-in-Furness, England. If you've never heard of Barrow-in-Furness, that's because it doesn't need you to have heard of it. It has BAE systems. Picture yourself in Barrow. You've just landed a role connected to shipbuilding, one of the most consistently funded sectors in UK defence. Your income is solid. Your median home price is around £120,000. Your cost of living is low enough that you're actually building wealth instead of performing the ritual of city life while your savings account flatlines. Here is the thing. Barrow-in-Furness is what economists would call a single employer economy. BAE Systems is not just a major employer here. It is, functionally, the town's entire operating logic. The defence contracts are long, the jobs are stable, and the housing is cheap precisely because the town is geographically isolated and boring enough to make your bank account genuinely happy. But here is what nobody tells you. If you are not inside that ecosystem, your options in Barrow shrink dramatically. The cultural infrastructure is limited. The geographic isolation is real. And if the contracts ever shift, if the political winds change and the defence budget contracts, the whole town feels it immediately. Translation: Barrow-in-Furness is safe, stable, and affordable. As long as the system keeps running, you are not buying into a diverse economy. You are buying into one very large, very well-funded bet. Item 5. Bishop Auckland, England. Bishop Auckland is the most interesting case on this list, and the most dangerous one to misread. This is a town in active regeneration. New galleries have opened. Heritage tourism investment is flowing in. The local council has made a public-funded commitment to cultural revival, and median home prices are sitting around £100,000 with regeneration grants layered on top. On paper, it looks like the gold standard of early-stage opportunity. Picture yourself in Bishop Auckland. The streets are improving. There's genuine energy here, the kind of energy that precedes a real transformation. You feel like you got in early. You feel smart. But here is what nobody tells you. Early-stage regeneration is a phrase that means the upside is real and the timeline is completely uncertain. The high-income jobs have not fully materialized yet. The tourism economy is still developing. You are making a bet on potential, not on proof. Translation: Bishop Auckland is not a scam, but it is a speculation. The difference between a smart early mover and someone who bought into an unfinished promise is often nothing more than timing, and timing is the one thing no grant covers. Real talk. If you can afford to wait, and if you believe in the trajectory, this might be the most asymmetric opportunity on this list. If you need certainty immediately, look elsewhere. Here is the truth nobody puts in the headline. The era of affordable living did not disappear. It just moved to places most people stopped paying attention to. Post-industrial towns, depopulation zones, and regions that are being quietly rebuilt by government money that has to go somewhere. Every single town on this list is offering you the same fundamental deal. We will make this financially easy for you if you are willing to solve our problem. And the problem is always the same: declining populations, shrinking industries, unfinished reinvention. Here is the thing: that is not exploitation. That is cost of living arbitrage in its purest form. You are being compensated in the form of cheap land and generous grants. for tolerating something most people won't. Stop paying for a lifestyle you can't afford in a city that doesn't need you. The smartest financial move you can make is sometimes going where nobody else wants to go. Yet, follow the "in jobs first," not the cheap housing. Treat grants as risk offsets, not free money, and visit before you sign anything. Because a spreadsheet will never show you what isolation actually feels like at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday in February. Subscribe, because the best opportunities never look obvious at first, and the people who find them are always the ones who were paying attention before everyone else caught up.